you considered the messages your outfits send? What do you think your clothes say about you? See, style is about the clothes, but it's not really about the clothes. Every day you make choices about what you're going to wear, but what are you communicating? Welcome to Above and Beyond Style. I'm your host, Maria DiLorenzo, and in 2019, I founded MFD Style, where I provide a unique, intuitive approach to personal styling for those ready to embrace a more meaningful look. With this podcast, I'll uncover key elements of where spirituality, psychology, and style intersect, revealing how you can make intentional wardrobe choices that reflect who you really are. So let me ask you, are you ready to transform into your authentic self? Then it's time. Come with me on this journey, and together we'll take your style above and beyond style. Well, hey everybody, welcome back to Above and Beyond Style. This week, I want to talk about something that I have actually talked about previously in my Instagram stories and videos. So I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but I did a video on this topic pre-pandemic, and it is still applicable, as you can imagine, today. So today we're going to talk about the clothes we keep. Now, obviously, a really core component of a lot of my work is helping people assess their closets, look at the clothing that is currently residing in their closets, and deciding which items are worthy enough to be kept and which probably could either be consigned, donated, passed off to someone who could really wear them, put back into circulation, or in some rare instances, just tossed because of the condition. So these items that we keep, I have noticed something, and again, this is even hearkening back several years now, but I've noticed a trend in many people's closets. And I want to help unpack this a little bit further so that we can really start to give some, additional thought and intention behind these clothes that we keep. Now, in the pandemic, and with many clients that I have worked with over the last 2 years, I would say many, I don't have the exact statistic handy, but I would say many have expressed to me the frustration of weight shifting, and typically weight gain, right? That people are gaining weight, they're not as active, stress is higher. There's a whole host and variety of factors as to why people have been gaining weight over the last couple of years. And this has resulted in, obviously, pieces of their wardrobe then that no longer fit. And for some people, they've done that hard work of digging in, Marie Kondoing it, going through every single piece and identifying how does it fit? Does it spark joy? Is this something I want to wear? Is it representative of my style now? And, making the appropriate decision from there. So a lot of people are purging closets right now. And I'm grateful for that because I'm very happy to assist and help those that might need help with that process. And I'll also mention as a little sidebar, this is a really amazing time to be secondhand shopping because so many people are purging. And there is an incredible market right now for new with tags, barely worn, like worn once or twice, items that are in the secondhand market that honestly, you guys, this is like incredible quality that is out there at a very reduced price. So if you haven't explored secondhand shopping before, I would encourage you to think about it, whether you have a local spot near you in your neighborhood to check out for consignment, or even like the Goodwills or the thrift stores. There's just an extraordinary volume of inventory out there. And of course, online, there are many options. I really enjoy working with Poshmark. That's probably my primary secondhand shopping tool. Then for any sort of designer or higher valued items, The RealReal is a great option. And then many of you I've encountered through clients and friends and family have utilized ThreadUp, which is another one that you won't make big money off the things you sell, but you will see all sorts of things out there for a significantly reduced price. So if you are in this sort of weight shifting mode and you might need a few new pieces, just know that secondhand shops right now really are kind of bursting at the seams with inventory because people are purging closets. So something to keep in mind. But now back to these clothes that we've held on to that maybe no longer fit. And there are some people that I've noticed as I've worked with clients over the years. It's an interesting trend, and it sometimes happens with like jeans or dresses, sometimes jackets. It sort of depends on the specific item. And I will say this is consistently between men and women. So no gender preference or bias there. But that we keep items, many of us keep items in our closet that no longer fit. And I'm always intrigued about the why. The why for people is something that I try to unpack and uncover and have a conversation about with clients whenever we come across those items. So let's just take a pair of jeans, for example, because it's a very common practice, I think, for people when we sort of size out of a jean. There may be some sort of thought process in our mind about like, well, if I lose this weight or I can shed a little something here or there, these jeans will fit again and they're great jeans. So I'd hate to part with them now if, any of that happens. So I'm just going to hang on to these jeans. Now, let me preface this conversation by saying I'm not here to judge you as to why you keep the jeans, right? And I really want to just impart the fact that I want you to be thinking about your own motivation behind the purpose for keeping the jeans. And whatever your purpose is, I want you to own it and to go with it and know that I'm not here to try to change your mind, but I am here to help you maybe think a bit more intentionally about what are the motivations and the feelings underneath keeping this pair of jeans. So let me talk you through the process. So for example, going through the closet, we come across these jeans, I'm having a conversation with the client. Oh, I love these jeans. As I said, if I lose 5 or 10 pounds, like they'll just be perfect again. So I like to hang on to them. Well, that typically, kind of enters us into this conversation about, well, one, are you actively trying to lose weight? And again, this is not a judgment about your activity level or your exercise habits, but it's just about trying to understand where you currently are. Are you actively trying to lose weight? Maybe yes, maybe not. When you see these jeans in your closet, because we all kind of like scan or go through clothes when we're getting dressed, I'm curious about how you feel when you see the jeans. And usually this is where the conversation takes one of two forks in the road. The first road often can be, will they motivate me, right? Every time I see them, I am really inspired by the fact that, you know what, I'm going to stay on track. I'm going to keep up with my healthy habits. I'm going to keep moving my body. I'm going to really focus on my nutrition. I'm going to sleep well. I'm going to drink lots of water, right? Like it inspires a variety of healthy habits that might allow some weight loss. And again, I'm not a nutritionist or a trainer or any of the factors in this world, but I want to hear sort of your thought process behind this. So if they're serving you to motivate you, to move you toward a healthier, happier, more balanced you, then by all means, keep the jeans, right? They are inspiring you. They're encouraging you to meet your goals. They're giving you something tangible even to be able to point to and say, yes, I really want to work hard for this thing. And this is, for whatever reason, meaningful to me. So I'm going to keep the jeans to symbolize that. And I've seen clients do that where they've had this piece of clothing or item of clothing in their closet that they kept. They used it as continual sort of motivation and inspiration, and they met their goal. And it was an exciting time to be able to say, good for you. Great. I'm glad the jeans gave you what you needed, and now you can wear those clothes again. And, again, great for you. No, awesome experience that you've had. But the other sort of path that I hear when people come across this item that they've kept is the flip side of all of this conversation. It's that when people see the pair of jeans, they feel ashamed and they feel disappointed in themselves. Or in some ways, I've heard clients express failure, right? Like, I have not been able to stay with my routine. I've really struggled to lose this weight. I don't know that I ever will lose this weight. And so coming across these jeans time and time again just continually sort of brought their energy down and demotivated them in many ways, because it served as this reminder. It's almost like this is one more way that life feels hard right now. And believe me, life is hard enough as it is right now, right? So I often hear that train of thought about, I don't know, the item just, it's showing me that I didn't somehow live up to a potential that I wanted or thought I wanted. And it sort of instigates this whole series of self-talk that feels really harsh and difficult and just not kind or compassionate toward oneself. And I will say, when I've had a client express that to me, and I'm able to sort of gently say, well, how come we're keeping these jeans then? Like, what good purpose are they serving you right now? Because believe me, there are lots of jeans in the world. And if the thing that you want is a great pair of fitting jeans, we can find that for you. This is not about you fitting into a mold, aka the jeans, so that you can feel better about yourself. This is about you feeling better about yourself first, and then recognizing your clothes need to sort of change and shift around that belief. And I say this a lot with people who struggle with clothing and clothing sizes. And I've said this before in previous episodes that, sizing across manufacturers, especially for women, is highly inconsistent and very frustrating for many, many consumers. So if one size fits in one brand, it doesn't fit the same size in another brand. And so we start to believe that there's inherently something wrong with our bodies because our bodies don't fit all these various sizing and the sizing discrepancies that are out there in the fashion industry. And that's a really problematic belief in my mind, because somehow it's saying, wait a second, I have to shift and change my body however many times to fit all the variety of brands and manufacturers that are out there. Like, that's crazy town, right? Like, that's not a belief that is actually true. And what I try to do with people is help them sort of see that just because this pair of jeans doesn't fit you doesn't inherently mean there's anything wrong with you. And if your weight has changed and shifted and perhaps gone up in this instance, that still doesn't mean that somehow you failed, you're not good enough, you're not worth it, you don't deserve to have clothing that actually fits you at whatever size you're in. It's interesting how, society and marketing and all sorts of things have sort of led to this belief that if our clothes don't fit us, then there's something wrong with us. And gosh, guys, if there's anything you could take out of these podcasts, I hope you're starting to see that your inherent value and worth is of primary importance. And how you dress your body, you have a lot of options out there. And if you need help and assistance, that's what professionals and experts like myself can help you get to find the clothing that works for you, so that you don't have to be confronted by items in your closet that somehow make you feel less than. Because that, to me, oh my gosh, there's enough in our world that is out there that we have to counter and sort of work around that might be telling us that we're not good enough, or, that we don't size up. And I just would really love for you to be able to walk into your closet and sort of see it as this place that empowers you and gives you the strength and the confidence and the courage to live your life, not have it be one more place where you feel like you failed, or that life is really hard. And, here you are again, confronted with, got to get dressed today. This is going to be a hard reality to confront. So this is an important part of kind of the psychology around style, and how you come to really understand why you keep the clothes you keep. And hopefully you will see patterns in the clothes that you do keep that are starting to build you up instead of break you down. And honestly, if you just need the permission to be told, like, get rid of the thing, get rid of the jeans, get rid of the whatever that doesn't fit right now, let me give you the permission, because I assure you there are other options out there in the world that can work for you and your body. And you don't have to hold on to that emotional sort of albatross around your neck about this piece of clothing, and let it go for whatever associations you have with it, whatever beliefs that came along with it now that you no longer fit in it. So I just want you to be able to embrace a different way of looking at your clothing, and know that you have the authority and the power to make those choices about the clothes that you keep. That ownership is yours to decide. And it can be really empowering to be able to let go of those clothes and say goodbye to those pieces that don't fit anymore, because they don't serve our bodies, and they don't serve our mental health and our wellness. And even better, maybe they'll serve somebody else. So let them be of service. Let that pair of jeans, instead of sitting in your closet kind of rotting away and not serving you, let it serve somebody else. And let's get clothes for you that actually work and feel and do serve you. So if you have a chance, I want you to take some time with your wardrobe and think about the clothes that you've kept. And I want you to be honest about it. Like, there's no shame in this game. And whether you're doing that with me in person, or you're just privately having this conversation with yourself, look at those clothes that you've kept and really be truthful about how does it serve you. And if it serves you for good, positive, healthy, aligning, balanced, at high vibration purposes, then by all means, use it, keep it, do whatever you got to do for it. But if it's not, please give yourself the permission to let it go and to say goodbye, and to focus on other clothes that do serve you. And I don't know if any of you are users of the Obey fitness platform. I actually signed up at the beginning of 2022 just because, it's a cold, and you're often inside for a lot of months in those early months of the year in the Northeast, and in Boston it was particularly cold. And where I prefer to exercise and do things outside, I really wanted something inside that I could do. And I really love yoga. And I signed up for this couple free months of Obey Fitness, where I was doing yoga 3, 4, sometimes 5 days a week. It was really exciting because it felt so good to be back in my body. And in this process of doing the yoga, I had discovered they also offer these little 10-minute, sometimes less, but 10-minute meditations, little guided meditations by a variety of instructors. And I've found this one woman that I really like, who her name is Liz. I don't know anybody. If you do Obey Fitness, look up Liz for guided meditations. I think she's really great. She just has a really nice presence about her. Feels lighthearted, but yet really grounded and calming. And there was a 10-minute meditation that I often come back to around self-acceptance. And while you may think that I have no issues with self-acceptance, I assure you I also battle the same voices and beliefs that sometimes keep us down. And so I have to work hard at keeping my vibration higher and my beliefs truthful about who I am and what I bring to the world. And so I came across this self-acceptance meditation with Liz, and she had a mantra in it that I want to share with you because I think it's really relevant to when we think about these clothes that we keep and we're confronted with the fork in the road about, does it shame me or does it motivate me? What are you really acknowledging within yourself that's going to help you make that choice? So maybe this mantra will help you. So the statement is, I radically accept myself in this present moment. I'll say that again. I radically accept myself in this present moment. And it's funny because sometimes I'll find myself when I may be going down that path of shame and criticism and disappointment in myself, or whatever the feeling or the emotion may be as it's connected to my wardrobe, I find that little mantra pops in my mind. And believe me, I think God Universe is up to something when that happens. It's like my little gift that's placed right in front of me that's like, don't forget, I radically accept myself in this present moment, which means I'm not shaming myself. I'm not disappointed in myself. I'm giving myself the value and credit and worth that I'm due. So if that maybe helps you in those moments where you're confronted by, do I keep this item? Do I let it go? How do I feel about it? Maybe that mantra will serve you and give you the inspiration to step back and really own your choice and to really give yourself the freedom to say yes or no to the clothes that we keep. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much for listening today. If you enjoyed what you've heard, I would appreciate you taking the time to leave a review on the podcasting platform you're using and share this episode with others who you think might really enjoy these conversations about personal style. For more information all about MFD Style services, you can find me on the web at mfdstyle.com, on Instagram at mfd_style, where I post almost 5 days a week, or send me an email at maria@mfdstyle.com. I also have a weekly email I send to subscribers, so I will include the link to that sign up in the show notes. So until next time, friends, remember to love yourself and then love yourself some more.